Well, good morning, my little space muffins and space cadets. I am just returning from feeding the fairies downstairs. You can hear the harp music. It makes them so happy. They start to weave good spells for us all. I ran out of angel food cake, the thing they liked the most, and had to revert to Twinkies. But they seem to survive. They also like chocolate eclairs, and that makes them happy. They weave pretty dreams for us all. And I have some nice and exciting news for you. I I was up in the tower last night, and I wanted to find something on the horizon that brought us great hope. We're in a time that the planet is in rather dire distress due to climate warming. And I went across the pond to look at Bonnie Prince William's chart to see if what the future held for him. You see, if he becomes a happy monarch over a happy kingdom, that bodes well for us all. His country being an island and low-lying, like a lot of the planets and a lot of the land masses, if he is happy over his kingdom and things are going well, you can assume that that's going to bode well for us all. And we do need a leader, a real leader right now in any area. So, and remember that Britain in the last century did provide us some hopeful leaders, including Winston Churchill, who said the only fear we have to face is fear itself. And so he's had some other solid type people. So I want to show you his chart. Hold on, I'll draw it up. I just got it down from the telescope. So here we have Bonnie Prince William. I might have to tell the harpist to turn down the music, but you can see a little bit of Diana in his pretty smile, and also this great hopefulness in his chart. So we'll come back to look at, maybe I can draw down some nice pictures of his marriage to Kate Middleton. Look what we have here, a Cancer, a double Cancer yet, and it is a new moon. You might know from astrology that new moons are a wonderful time to start things, and this makes him a go-getter. However, it gives him the soft side of Cancer. Now, nobody loves their country more than a Cancer. You don't find Cancers moving away from their home that easily. They want to, and they become very political, believe it or not. They're not always home knitting and making cookies. Being as home-loving and nurturing as they are, they're also very active in the political scene because their home is also their country. So here we have, in the seventh house is the house of partnership. So what you have is somebody who is very wrapped up in their partnership. They're very content and it's very nurturing. You see the Cancer moon in the seventh house. The moon nourishes. It is really nice, and this is also the public. The moon is the public. We've seen a lot of people with prominent moons in front of the public because the moon it rules the public. The only thing that concerns me is we have Gemini on the 7th house cusp. And you must know your own houses. First house, second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, sixth house, seventh. This is very important. You want to know about your partners? Look here. Well, it has Gemini rising. Gemini always means two, almost all the time. Wherever you have two, this already he has two children, two and two. This could mean more than one wife, and it shows that he loves his wife so much, and he's quite dedicated, as dedicated to her as he is to his country. So this is a wonderful combination, and he's lucky. He's meant to be a ruler. And I want you to look here at his rising sign. We looked at many galactic centers in our charts in the past. When you get 27, 28, and 29, an important place, that's a galactic center. You are drawing down wisdom from above, no matter what. We pointed out in earlier charts that people like Wayne Dyer and Shirley MacLaine had these aspects, and they drew down inspiration and knowledge from above, and they inspired so many people. So this is very exciting. It's also good luck. So there's so many positive things in this chart. Not that he won't have his challenges. The most exciting is the ruler of, first of all, fire signs are lucky, period, on the ascendant particularly. And the ruler of his ascendant is Jupiter. I don't know if you know your planets yet, but this is lucky Jupiter, the great beneficent. So this shows something about his ruler, who he is. The first house is your appearance before the world. It's the book cover, and it's you physically. It shows your environment. I mean, already he lives in a castle, for real. So here you have Jupiter, the great beneficent, and it is trine. This is the luckiest aspect that you can come up with, I think. And we have Jupiter at the very same degree. Look, 0 of Scorpio and another water sign, 0 of Cancer. And so you have this wonderful feeling. These people have great feelings. He's going to rule and live his life by an inner intuition. And that is kind of, it's double stated with Neptune, the planet of inspiration. It's a very mystical sign. It's illusion, delusion, and confusion, and high spiritual attainment. It just depends whether if you're going to be on the dark side of alcohol and drugs or on the high side of great inspiration coming from above, and like clergy and gurus have this there because they're leading from the spirit. So you have this is trine. We have wonderful another thing is the most elevated planet is Mars, and it is at a very lucky star that assures good fortune and leadership. It's 9 of Libra, and we're going to look at some of the points here. The one thing that concerns me is believe me, there's not much to be concerned here. I have seen in the other royal charts some type of chicanery going on with money. There's money being funneled out for some reason, somehow. And it makes me think that his grandfather, Prince Philip, and Charles, they're very computer savvy, these people. They're also, Camilla and Charles are spiritualists. They're never going to let anybody know this, but there's nothing. Invite me to the castle sometime. I'll go. I'm a spiritualist. Let's have a seance. They are. I think that's what Camilla and Prince Charles have in common. There's nothing wrong with it. We need all the celestial help we can get. So here we have this magical lumber here of rulership. But I don't see the type of tomfoolery that I've seen with the other charts. I felt like perhaps the royals are always worried about the House of Commons or Lords or Parliament voting that they should pay taxes, and this kind of is a bit of contention. So perhaps under this bonny, gorgeous guy with insight and a heart, he has a spiritual clue that that won't be necessary. I feel like the royal family has been sucking it away in Swiss banks or something, and maybe that won't be necessary because I've seen the royal house going bankrupt. There's that possibility. It's hard to imagine. The one thing that did concern me is he has a darling little daughter, firstborn, and this shows a bit of a problem. I have it marked here. Is conjunct Al Ghul kaput, actually. Kaput means like you lose your head. And you've heard that term before. He's kaput. That means you've lost your head. And it is conjunct a star here that shows literally beheading. You lose your head over something. And we've got Al Ghul kaput here at this degree. It is aspected to his ascendant and Neptune, meaning that they're in the 5th house. You want to know about your children? Look here. You know, and also if you look at the charts of your parents, they're going to tell about you. You're the son or daughter. Here is children, and we have an aspect here showing that one of the children is there's several things saying they're a little out of control, and I hope they don't do things like ride around in sports cars and polo and whatever, because there is a chance of beheading here, or losing your head, or just getting into drugs and alcohol, or bad company. It's here a little bit. This fellow has good karma all around, especially with Mars aspected in a trine to Mercury, the way you think. And so I think very quickly on my feet and very rationally. So let's look a little bit at the corresponding tarot cards for this wonderful fellow, because this bodes well for the future of the world. Maybe we're not all going to sink or spin out of control with climate control, climate problems, because this kind of sad. Let's take a look at his cards. I pointed out that the ascendant is at the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. It doesn't get better than that. You're guided, you're guided, you're guided, and you're inspiring. We need inspiration. I hope the fairy music, harp music, isn't too loud. If not, I'll just send this reading to you telepathically. Drop me a note. The Sun and Jupiter are they're both at 0 degrees. That's a trine. It doesn't get better than that, especially for health, luck, optimism, and good fortune. And there's only one problem. 0 is a sign of the fool. They take risks. They're not paying attention. And we talked about the fool earlier. It's obvious. This picture tells the whole story. It's sunny. Always when you see the background of the tarot cards, it's going to tell you a lot about the tarot cards. So he's got a sunny day, but it's a little chilly, rocky, and cold here. So good and bad. And these cards were just this the Weight Rider, and they were designed beautifully with the symbolism. He has a little dog at his feet, warning him. Will he listen? And I wonder if he won't be magical enough to be able to step off the cliff and not fall, kind of like Raiders of the Ark type thing. If you believe, you're going to walk on air. So that remains to be seen. And the moon has a bit of unfortunate aspect. It is at 4 degrees, and that's harsh. You can't ever. It's the emperor, and he does not cut anybody any slack. He's like Saturn, and you cannot look at the emperor without visualizing the death card. You see the emperor is a 4, and also 13 is a 4. So you have this double 4 here. So there's a tiny bit of misfortune in the 7th house of partnership and public. I think whatever comes his way, he'll handle it well, but there's some sorrow there, and it's going to be, I don't think being a major ruler like that would be without problems. The Venus that we saw, 28 of Taurus, that's kaput al goal, and 28 is the Chariot. So it has its good points and its bad points. This young girl will be a problem, unless the one thing that could else go wrong here. He loves his wife very much. However, these monarchs and men of stature and position, they're always being led astray by other women, and that could be the problem of a major scandal in the castle, and major problems with his wife that he loves. That's the other thing that could happen there with the younger women causing him problems. Is it his daughter causing problems, or is does he stray? Because these men have a hard time with the women that are around them, because he's a prize to the women, and but ill fortune will fall to the woman that breaks up the home, guaranteed. So that's all I have to share with this bonny fellow, and I'm so glad to see it. Just like when we looked at the chart of young Joseph Kennedy, he's born in the same time. He's born in 1984-ish. And the hope that is in that young man's chart, these are technically two royal families. We have a royal family of the Kennedys, and we have it in the public's eye, and we have the royal family of the royals in Britain, and we watch them closely, and this is great hope for us all, just like young Joe Kennedy. We hope and pray that they show that, believe me, these guys are not sinking in ocean and dealing with major catastrophe and end of the world scenarios. That wouldn't happen that way. Not with someone that loves their country as much as he does. Just keep your pants on, gorgeous, and don't be fooling around with Kate, because she's not going to stand for it. And it's going to cause you problems. It's not worth it. Our two royal families do come from dubious backgrounds. The senior Joe Kennedy was a bootlegger, the father of Robert and John F. Kennedy. So he made his money as a bootlegger. But he took it, in spite of that chicanery, he turned it into something good. And that was his whole aim, which is nice to see. And the royals only became royal because they were the most ruthless, like 200 and 300 years ago, to gain power. How do you gain power in medieval times? You're just the baddest guy on the block. Now they put themselves up on thrones and say, hey, look at us. So they're always walking around like they have a bullseye on their back because of that, and they carry bad karma from that. But this young man is going to turn it around, as will Joe Kennedy. They're not going to see their beloved countries fall to war and climate change. So my blessings are with you, my bonny young men, and I wish you arrivederci. And we'll talk to you later from the castle, and when we have more terrific news and forecasts for us all. Oh, don't let me forget. I forget all the time. In the corner of the right hand of the YouTube, there is a little kitty cat, and since I put him there, I've been getting more subscribes, which kind of helps me bring you yet more. And it's like just subscribe and like, and I can get some more of these exciting charts. And when you press the little, it's down here in the corner, when you press the little kitty cat, it's a little Zen, Z-E-N cat, who says, this is Zen and this is Meow. How about that? That was Zen and this is Meow. Just press on that. You'll see it meows sometimes. That's kind of fun. While I'm off. I think I need to turn down the harp music and get my telescope out